Daisy Waste Mom. Is you live?
You know what I'm doing? The 6-4?
That's devil.
No, that's dumb. The 6. What's today?
Today is 7.
Yeah.
Waste Mom?
Are you wasted, Mom?
Are you Waste Mom?
Are you waste mine?
Well, I know what I am.
Okay,
I ain't
what's
got to
today?
work for a week.
Whatever, man. That's not what I'm talking about. What's today? What's today? You don't even know what today is.
Today's the 7th, man.
Today is the 6-month anniversary of Mr. Brando.
Oh, yeah.
Today
Waste Mom.
is the 6th month
Of a Waste Mom.
anniversary.
Is you live?
Is you live? Man,
Man, I should have had a drink. Can I go make me a
go make a drink. It's our 6th anniversary. Go get your drink on. I'm giving everybody.
I need to be live.
One more chance. One more chance. Y'all, it's my 6-month anniversary. Man, we've been doing this YouTube thing for exactly 6 months on the dot today. Man, they thought they was going to kill me. They thought they was going to make me stop doing this cast. I'm still wearing polo. My hair's still in braids. You know what I'm saying. Gang, gang all day. Kangaguru stand up. Man, it's much love, much love, much love, much love on the anniversary of our 6th month on YouTube. And I can't say thank you enough. I can't say, man, gang, gang enough. I can't say, man, for all the people that hated, for all them people that still hating, keep watching us grow. We started off with 39 subscribers. I told the story 100 times on the rant. 39 subscribers. 39 people believed in what we were talking about. After we did the first mukbang, man, we went to like 100. We changed the name. We went to 1,000. We just started breaking the internet. And right now we are at a clean, oh my gosh, what are we at right now as far as subs go, man? Oh my gosh, we're at 4,141 subscribers. 4,141. Hopefully, I know some of them don't feel the same way we do, y'all. Don't even get me wrong. Some of them are just watching because they're haters, right? But a lot of these people that watch, man, are not haters. A lot of these people that watch are about what we're talking about. A lot of people that watch are exactly what we think the investment should be, which is a stand-up thing, and it's not pie in the sky. They give us a lot of news. If you don't like people that work, if you don't like a person that goes to work every day, I don't care if you sell bricks, I sell mattresses, I don't care if you sell cars, I don't care if you drive a cab, I don't care if you're an Uber driver. If you work or if you do something that's contributing to society, don't ever be shamed, and don't ever let these people shame you for doing that. Don't ever feel shamed about contributing. It's the people that sit behind a keyboard every day that don't do nothing, but critique people that do something. That's where America goes wrong, and that's why we're different, and that's why we're trending. We're doing things people never even thought we'd do. Man, I remember when I first told this, I said, I want to do sound effects, I want to do this. April Bibi used to tell me, what you do? I said, man, let's do it. She said, no.
Don't be telling people what I said.
I told her, man, I said, I want a theme song. My homeboy James reached out to me. I got a theme song. I told y'all I want a theme song. Everybody, I remember when I first started playing it, people were hating on the theme song. Now I got people wanting to take to my demo.
Who told you to start this? Let's take it back from the cradle to the grave.
I have to give all the credit, okay? to Daisy. Because without Daisy,
waste man.
No, I got to give all the credit on the 6-month anniversary of the Mr. Brando thing, for real. From the name to the concept to the, you know, like just doing it all right. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like 6 months for real.
Yeah, I know. All hell April BB. Oh, but
now, y'all can just get her to cook.
Wait. Oh. This guy fights me in the kitchen too. You started off cooking over here, right?
Yeah.
I had April BB. I had Mr. and Mrs. J.
Yep.
We started with Mr. and Mrs. J, right?
Yep.
At the other house.
Yep.
We would sit there, talk about Power, talk about all the TV shows, eat, and just whatever.
Yeah, for real.
One day we were sitting around the house bored.
Yep.
This one here talks about the dinar like in his sleep. And he knows geopolitics. He's real good backwards and forwards. And we're walking through Wally World.
Yeah.
And I said, babe, we should do a mukbang on Iraqi Dinar on your channel. Remember that?
Yeah.
Came home with some, Wendy's or Burger King.
It was something crazy.
And I just let you have, we started talking. I think that night we had about 50 people in the live.
Yeah, 50 people. Remember?
And they were ripping us to shreds. Like, could you not eat? Could you not smack?
Yeah.
And the whole
you
concept,
fat, you black, you this, you
all
that.
But
man, they clowned us for real.
hold on. But to say all that, like the other channel, we do mukbangs. So Mr. and Mrs. J, we have been doing mukbangs and they've been going all right or whatever. So, we're thinking that, YouTube, that's what they do, mukbang. So we'll do a mukbang about the dinar. Baby, y'all bougie. Y'all shut that down. After that night, we killed eating.
Man, remember what you said when we were downstairs?
What?
Remember what you said? We were filming back then in the theater room, remember?
Right.
And April said this to me. She said, hey, look. No, this was the next day. I'm sorry. No, we did that on our Friday, right? Mm-hmm. So this was Sunday, and we had hit I think at that time we had 39 subscribers on my channel, or on whatever channel that was on.
It was on your channel.
It was on my channel, 39 subscribers. And we had got such a response, remember? I think maybe 400 people watched the video.
It was a lot. It went up to 1,000.
It went to 1,000.
It went over 1,000. I'm going to tell you why I know. I took that same video, and after you hit a couple of K, I said, I'm going to put it on April BB as well.
Yeah.
Remember, we would share our video.
Yeah.
And it went, as someone will say, I won't say the person's name, it went parabolic, but over there too. And I said, I think we're on to something. I think there's an audience for this. When I looked at the other people, and I have been watching too, and nobody would answer live calls. Nobody would talk to the investors in the Iraqi dinar.
Personally.
Yeah.
Everybody just say, you take my advice because you take it.
I think people read articles, they get an opinion, and then there's no room to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. I think Mr. Brando provided that because he's not challenged. He's an investor like everybody else. He's giving his personal opinion, and you're getting real feedback from somebody that's into this investment. So,
and having a hell of a good time doing it. And with my wife, who will tell you, I didn't want to do this. Remember, I told you, I didn't want to talk about the Iraqi dinar.
He didn't believe in YouTube, period. That was
I didn't believe that as a metric, period.
When we moved in, I'm like, okay, we're going to get rid of cable. He was like, hold up. I said, I'm telling you, YouTube, all I do is watch YouTube. I don't really watch cable TV that much. He's like, oh, no, I'll play it.
My cable bill is 5 times the amount we're paying now.
Yeah, because he had everything, a voice remote, all that stuff. But anyway, I digress. He was like, I cannot go without cable. Now,
I can't go without
YouTube
this show.
And
this
YouTube,
show.
And YouTube.
This show. I'm going to say it like this. It comes this show first. I live to do this show now. Y'all don't understand. I sit and chill all day. Oh, that's my special guest. Hold on. That's my special guest. Hold on. Let me answer this, y'all. Let me answer this, though. Hold on. I got a special guest. Hey, are you there? Oh, okay. Don't say nothing, okay? I'm still doing it. It's my 6-month anniversary, so we're We're having a little bit of reminiscent time, okay? Y'all, I want to tell everybody right now, this is my special guest. This is the person that on my 6th-month anniversary on YouTube, with just a mere, how many people are on my live right now? Seriously, how many people are on this live right now? Okay, we got 300 people steadily watching this right now, right? We right now are talking about, we are on our 6th month. I got my special guest on the thing, and I know him as being a person and a subscriber of his channel, right? So, like, I don't always believe that, you know, when I got into this YouTube thing and started talking about the dinar, there were some people out there with platforms that were 10 times bigger than ours, remember? Mm-hmm. They were 100 times bigger than ours. And people, you know, embraced us. They gave us love. No one really sat back in the trenches and really just showed me any love. I didn't really find too many, you know, I mean, I got love from Nano. I still got mad love for Nano. Got mad love for Vital Brad, right? Mm-hmm. I got love for 365, right? Me and him, we've had our thing, but we do our thing, right? Mad love for his Patreon channel. I'm just telling y'all he does good. I'm just telling, but there hasn't been too many other people that have embraced me in this whole Iraqi Dinar thing.
Well, I think people come in and out of this space too. So, you know, I think consistency pays off. Mm-hmm. I think you also are very friendly with mm-hmm. the subscribers. He's always on the phone taking y'all calls and making new friends. Mm-hmm. This man has a really big heart, and it's beyond, you know, he just believes. He's a believer in the dinar. He's a believer in the people. He wants everybody to come up and do well. So I think that transcends, right?
Right.
Throughout everything you do.
Right. It transcends color, genre, whatever. And I think a person that I would say that we have a lot of the same premises, right? Our belief systems are a lot of the same. Is my good friend, I'm going to give him, I wish I could give him like a whole drum roll right now. The Dinar Investor. Now, Dinar Investor has a channel on YouTube. I'll post his link in the description, okay? This dude right here is a stand-up dude. He's a God-fearing dude. He's a man that loves his family. He loves
they'll, you know, be interactive. And I think we are live. Is we live? Can somebody give me the thumbs up? Is we live?
Are we back?
Yes, you're back. You're back. I see it.
Booyaka! Wow. Okay, y'all. So we back live. So I'm not gonna go through all the.
Let me say this real quick. Girls rule the world. I got us back up. But go ahead.
Jeff, will you please tell them I was tapping the ivories right here, getting this rolling right
That's
quick.
not true. You're not. I'm the
Dinar investor. We're all boys. Boys are good.
You're the dinar guru. I'm the tech guru.
I ain't no damn
Remember
guru.
that.
I ain't no guru, and I denounce any guru that I ever meet.
You're the
I'm a
Kangaguru.
Kangaguru.
Okay.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get straight to it. This is my boy, Mr. Dinar Investor. I want y'all to welcome him. This is probably my first collaboration with somebody on my own channel. Okay, as far as Dinar goes, and I'm so glad that he's been in the chat and he's like so live with it that everybody's like, oh man, let me ask you. A lot of people crossed over to his channel and liked his stuff. Man, this dude is the bomb. I can't say enough positive things about him. Jeff, man, Dinar Investor, Mr. I want to call him Mr. Oracle of the article, Mr. Timeline. Man, what else can I say good about you right now?
You're good, man. I think you've complimented me enough. But let me introduce myself. My name's Jeff. I live in Arizona, and I've been in the investment for 10 years, and I've been part of a lot of forums, and I've been around a lot, so I've had a chance to learn and experience different things myself, as our followers are. So anyway, thanks for having me, and I'd like to welcome myself.
You are welcome.
Well, feel welcome and be welcome.
Yes, all welcome.
So we've got like about what we've done is Dinar Investor and I have talked several times, not several times, a few times. And what we did when we first kind of got together, we just vibed off of each other to see what we thought, where we were at inside of the investment. He had already been gracious enough to put together a timeline. And I'll send the timeline to Miss BB real quick, and she can post it in the community tab. So if people want to see it, they can see it real time. Some of my groups have already seen it. I know Dinar Investors groups have already seen it, so I'm not stealing the information. I'm giving him total credit for this. I just want to kind of talk to him about the information because we know these are factual events that have happened between what we call pre-reinstatement and then post-reinstatement. And he's kind of coined the terms, and I like them. I don't like the term RV because it's not a revaluation, it's a reinstatement. And we'll go through all that in just a few seconds. But do you want to start with your list, or do you want to start with some foreground real quick, Jeff?
Well, you know what? I think we can phase the list into this.
Mm-hmm.
So we can go there. In fact, I want to touch on how you said you want to call it a reinstatement. Let's expand on that. Reinstatement means bringing back a former rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they've only had two rates. In the 1970s, it was valued at $10 to the dollar at about 222, and then in the 80s, going into the 90s, and into the war of 2004, when it was devalued at a value of 322.
So when they invaded, which is symbolic for March, I believe it was 3rd, and people asked today when they spoke about some big news that came out. We'll touch on that later. But that a year passed during the invasion, the currency was revalued from 322. When we talk about reinstatement, are we talking plush inflationary measures? Are we talking pre-inflationary measures? How does the inflation in Iraq play a part in this? And what is your feelings on that?
I don't know where the inflation would have been calculated at back then, but yeah, inflation's a big deal, and that's a great direction. I'm glad you went that way with it. When I actually joined your forum last Wednesday, just kind of saying hi to everybody, and I saw one of your members ask a question about a lock, okay? And what a lock is it's where when a country has high inflation, they will physically remove zeros off the notes to devalue the currency to ease the inflation. Iraq's inflation right now, I think, is just shy of 2%. It's in the high ones or mid ones, something like that. So they really have no inflation, so that's not even a factor. In other words, there is no lock in this. It's a full increase of the value of their currency, and so they'll reinstate a former rate, plus probably add a 15-year cost of living increase in it. And if you look at where Kuwait's at, today Kuwait's about $3.30. Most people believe it'll struggle to be above that because Kuwait is worth a lot more. Kuwait's the wealthiest. I'm sorry, Iraq is the wealthiest country in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it is assumed that it'll come out above where Kuwait's at in the 330 range.
Question. So, like, Kuwait's the most expensive currency in the world. Why is their currency so expensive, in your opinion? I have my own opinion. I'll give it next. But why do you think their currency is so expensive?
My opinion on that is simply because of the vast resources and minerals they have in their soil. Plus, they're a democracy now.
Right.
Mostly the minerals and the oil and so forth.
Right. My opinion of that is the reason why Kuwait's so expensive is because they're an exporter. Their exportation, or what they export, is oil and gas and natural resources. And it's very expensive to do business with them because they don't want somebody like a George Soros or a Mr. Brando Klub or somebody like us going in there and buying up their resources, their land, infiltrating it through their infrastructure, and basically taking over. So they're guarding against immigration. They're guarding against a lot of different types of predators, economic predators, because of the expense to do business there. Not the average human being can go there and just do business. That's my point. I'll ask you another question. I think this is real pertinent. What is the actual delay of the reinstatement of the Iraqi Dinar 2019, Mr. Dinar Investor? What is it?
That's a great question. It's simply this, and I've been wondering it about myself, and then I pondered a thought one day. So what I did was I went back to February. I didn't care to go past February, and what I did was I compiled a list of everything that Iraq has been working on. If you go back to February, in February, what Iraq did was they took control of all their ports and borders, implemented tariffs everywhere at all ports and borders. Okay, so that was February. Then in late February, they turned around and held a national conference. Most of Dinarland actually missed that conference. I stressed it. It was around February 27th. I stressed that to my group strongly, and I even told my group about a key part of that. And what I stressed to my whole group was being unified and unification. 3 days later, on the following Saturday, articles came out announcing how Iraq's government was now unified. Okay, and then shortly after that, the government finally started forming committees and having meetings on removing the corruption. Now, remember, the former government was the corruption, so they couldn't form committees to tackle the corruption. So
let's back up. Hold on. Let's back up real quick. So on February 27th, they hold the national meeting, which unified to the world. Then they formed the committees. That was on February 27th, right?
Correct.
They hold the meetings about tackling anti-corruption. So if you remember going back to the SPA, the IMF, the UN Security Council, the very first thing that all these different three-letter government agencies talk about is Iraq has to tackle the corruption inside of their country before they reinstate their currency. That was basically not just a prerequisite, but it was a requirement before any of this could ever happen to begin with. So just the formation of the Corruption Council that Mahandi set way back then was precedent for what was going to happen. That, in what we call in this business, is a tell, right? They're telling you what they're doing. They're telegraphing it, right? Mm-hmm. Can I use that language there, Jeff? Is that okay with you?
Perfect.
Okay, so now they tell you, hey, look, we're going to reinstate our currency, but we've got to get a hold of corruption. Now, corruption in Iraq is absolute, meaning that not just is the system corrupt, but the people that are doing the system are corrupt also. So Mahandi, good, like him, don't like him, in his passive-aggressive way, or whatever you want to call it, he forms a committee to stop the corruption in Iraq, or to start putting a face to the name. Kind of like how we put a face to the name of prohibition, like in the 20s with the FBI, right? So we're going to go out there, we're going to bust these guys, right? We're going to take down corruption. Now, after they do that, on March 20th, the CBI announces the increase of the exchange rate during the current legislative term. Do you remember that article?
Yeah, 100%. In fact, but I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
My question is, do you remember that article? And do you remember the prerequisite to that article, which has been so prudent these last few weeks that I have talked about? And I mean, I'm not the only one. You've talked about it big time. I talked about it big time. I've seen posts anywhere from, I'll be honest, from Frank 26 to whoever else. I don't like to shout at everybody, but I don't think anybody missed this after I brought it out a few weeks ago about the financial management law. So when the CBI got their independence on March 20th, and they told everybody we're going to announce an increase in the exchange rate during the current legislative term, what that was from March 20th to what? What was the end of that quarter?
So the legislative term spans. If you notice, they took their month-long break during the month of February. Parliament resumed at the beginning of March. So their legislative term goes from March to June 30th. That's the time frame.
Perfect. So we all thought that this was going to go down in April. Now, without giving a spoiler alert, Jeff, why were we so big on April? What was the big thing in April that shined through to you? And then I'll answer it to you. What was the big thing in April to you? What was happening? What you thought? We all thought we were going to realize what was going on right now.
April was the end of the fiscal year for the IMF. May. No, actually, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm confusing March. You know, I didn't really have a time frame in April, so I'm sorry I can't answer your question. April wasn't based on factual backing. April was not a time frame for me based on facts.
Oh, cool. I loved April because I love the setup with the whole IMF, the corruption law. They were talking about implementing. I forgot the other law that was important at that time, but there was one more law they were bringing forth. Mahoney was teasing about the government, and that was a big deal to me at that time. But there was some leakage about, that was it. They had just started dropping the lower denominations around that time. And what had happened was when we started seeing them drop the 250 and the 500 and the 1,000, I really thought successively they would, administer more notes after that. So April was a big time that I was looking for to see those denominations drop. But I didn't see the articles like 140 coming out, the HCL. I didn't see those type of things. I didn't know anything about I knew about the financial management law, but I didn't know I had an understanding of it, but not the understanding that I have now.
Let me expand on your April and lower notes though. At the beginning of April, we already jumped straight into June. Okay, right. on our window. The reason why the small notes were not a factor for me is this. What by them releasing the smaller categories, what that allows them to do is that gives them, you figure April, May, June, that gives them almost 90 days to use those smaller notes to continue to withdraw and get the bigger 30 notes out of circulation. That's why to me the releasing the smaller categories was not I didn't look at that as a time frame to trigger the RI. Okay. I looked at more as a tool to continue to get bigger notes out of circulation.
Okay. So, notwithstanding the fact that what you're saying is true, the second part of that would be on March 20th, the CBI announces the increase. So now you jump to March to June. So we skip April and May. And then we see Iraq meets with the World Trade Organization with its ascension plans on March 25th. Why did you list that on a list of things that we needed to see done before reinstatement would happen?
In order for, right now, Iraq is only an observing member of the World Trade. In order for Iraq to be a full-fledged member, they must be international and they must have currency that's internationally recognized with fair regional value. Right. And in fact, I just posted an article this week. It might have been yesterday, in fact. So some of your folks that just joined me probably had a chance to see it. The article mentioned that right now Iraq is not a free country to do what they want. They're still under restrictions, and they're not because they're not international and so forth. So in order for Iraq to become international and their currency and so forth, obviously we're waiting on the revaluation or reinstatement for that to occur. Right. And that will enable that once they meet those international requirements, the World Trade will allow them to be a full-fledged member instead of an observing member. Right. And a lot of people have speculated that ascension can take up to 5 years. So do you think it will take them between now and 5 years to reinstate their currency? Your opinion? No way, not at all.
Why?
Because they've already been setting the stage for a long period of time.
Okay.
And they're ready to go. And as far as 5 years, I've already seen articles of the last 5 years talking about Iraq being a full-fledged member of the world. I'm sorry, being an observing member of the World Trade. So Iraq has already done their term. As far as the 5-year mark, they've easily performed that term for 5 years, being an observing member in preparation of becoming a full member.
Okay. Now we jump to April 23rd. The CBI holds its Financial Inclusion Week. What was your thinking behind the Financial Inclusion Week? Because if you go back, historical data tells you that Iraq, a year before that, basically had a 50% jump in banking inclusion from the year before. Why was the Financial Inclusion Week on your list?
To me, that was critical because the citizens they've never trusted the banks.
Right.
And this is also a step to expand on the smaller categories. This is another step for them to turn in their currency, get it into the bank, and can continue to get those 3-0 notes out of circulation. It's also a chance for the banks to meet with the citizens and explain to them what they can do for them and explain probably maybe newer modern banking practices, mobile banking, that kind of thing. So it really gives them a chance to update the citizens on where standards currently are with banking, as well as get them to turn in their 3-0 notes and build that level of trust with the banks.
And we also know that the Q cards were being given out at that point, about 2 million cards per month. So that just gives another opportunity for the citizens to get those beneficial cards that will also help out with what I'm calling the census. I don't know how you feel about that. I think the Q card going to the MasterCard helps them internationally, but the Q card being issued at 2 million cards per month, and we know there's about 40 million Iraqis total since I think it was 2012. They probably hit that number right now. I'm saying that is an excellent measure for the census, which could be used as a metric for the HCL and them paying out Article 140 or settling disputes on Article 140, excuse me. Another question I have for Jess is, we talk about this term pre-reinstatement and post-reinstatement. Could you define that for everybody right now real quick?
Yeah, pre-reinstatement would be, a moment ago you asked me about the delay and everything, and that's the period of time needed for Iraq to prepare for this, okay? Iraq has to set the stage. Iraq's not international, so they haven't had international agreements in place. So one of the things you'll see on that list I made, which is in a way our delay, going from April through May, they really engaged in a lot of trade agreements and reconstruction agreements in preparation for that reinstatement, as well as get all their banking in place and get all their economic layers in place. That would be the pre-reinstatement. So that way, when they're ready to go, and they flip the financial switch, their banking's in place, everything's in place on an economic level, ready to go. And then on the post side, now you got to factor in accounting periods in this too. Q2 ends an accounting period, so if they did it by the end of Q2 in June, okay, that allows them to walk into Q3 with a new rate and a new set of books. And that way they would have all the money and numbers in place to go ahead and start reconstruction. Recent articles have spoke of reconstruction. The reconstruction, as well as returning displaced people to their homes. Okay, those items, those are post-RI items, and the reason the war ended a year and a half ago, and since the war ended a year and a half ago, now we're finally talking about reconstruction and returning displaced people to their homes. That clearly tells you those items are waiting on the rate change. Okay. And you can see how the news has shifted it towards the end of May. The news made a transition from the news went from discussing layers of preparation, which would be the pre-RI, okay, to where now as we roll into June, the articles have gone into a post-RI layer.
Okay, we got a question real quick. Go ahead.
Eureka88 asked, Mr. Brando, I read that the dinar had a value of $1.71 in 2007 for a short time. Why haven't I heard about anyone cashing in their dinar? Was it only in country? I'm a bit baffled.
No, Eureka, what you're referring to is the BTI report that came out for 2018 I posted that on the last video here that said that the value for the Iraqi dinar, based upon the metric that they used for that one German company, said that it was worth about $1.70 something. Okay, the reason why it wasn't ever revalued in like the international stage is because it wasn't ever reinstated. It was just stated that if it was going to hold a value, that's what it would be. So as an investor, a speculative investor, that's what makes you go out and buy more currency. If you know that the currency you're buying is basically a tenth of a penny, but it's worth $3 or $2, you're going to make big time, you know what I mean, strides to make that happen. But that report is called the BTI report. I posted it was the cover letter of my last YouTube video, but it's a great report. But
and is that like an in-country rate or no?
Well, and that's the speculative point. And so, okay, understand this. When Iraq told the world that they wanted to reinstate the dinar, they basically told the world that they wanted to reinstate the dinar at basically pre-war times plus inflationary measures. Jeff just said it too, and I'm going to say it again. I think they got devalued at $3.22, right? Mm-hmm. So if you take into account inflation, which you could easily say 50 cents or 60 cents, right, for inflationary measures.
Okay.
From 2003 to now, right? Or 2004 to now. You could easily say just because of inflation, it will go up 50 cents, right?
Okay.
So that puts them at basically about $2.70 plus cents to almost $3.90 plus, based upon inflation. That's what Iraq wanted based upon their conversation with the IMF early on when they talked about reinstatement as opposed to locking their currency. Okay? Okay. Now, Jeff, you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead.
So we talk about the financial management law. Few people are talking about the law of administration for the state of Iraq. They're not talking about the administrative law. Do you have an opinion about the administrative law?
Are you talking about the FML?
No, the financial management. Well, the financial FAL, not FML, FAL.
So what does that stand
for? I haven't seen any articles on that, so I'm going to have to pass on that. I haven't seen any articles to voice an opinion on that.
Okay, it's the law of administration for the state of Iraq that basically says that when Iraq formally forms a government all the way through, like from like the prime minister all the way through the council of ministers, these last four positions that need to be held. Once they do that, it's the prerequisite for them telling the world that they're international. And they can't say that they actually are international until they do that. Meaning that the GOI has to be seated before you will ever see a reinstatement of the dinar.
Okay. To expand on that, I've actually posted articles where I think I had one last weekend that said right in it that it said the government cannot implement the government program until after the cabinet is formed and complete. So that confirms exactly what you're saying, making the elections the linchpin in the rate change.
So are the elections, they're formal, right? But however, the budget for this year that they voted on way back earlier this year, is the budget implemented at that point? Because the budget's really the linchpin to really, I think, to a lot of things. So is the budget implemented as well as, okay, my first question is this to you. Is the governor of Iraq seated in your opinion? Yes or no?
Yes, because earlier, and I'll make it short, when you and I were just talking about the national meeting and then how they announced they were unified, prior to that, they did not or could not have they couldn't form committees and have meetings to clean up the corruption because the former old government was the corruption. So after the national meeting, which brought forth all the players of the government and a few outsiders, they announced they're unified. By announcing unified, they're telling the world that their government is formed and complete. And then the fact that they formed committees and started tackling corruption tells you that there's brand new government officials in place. Go ahead.
Now, remember when they came out with that article that stated that offices like the Interior Ministry, the Defense Ministry, were voting on chairs and sub-chairs and administration people for those acts. Wasn't that further proof, in your opinion, that the government had been seated?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. There's another question.
No.
Maybe can I join on the combo?
That's Jason.
Yeah, Jason, you can call in on the convo. That's fine.
Call in, Jason.
I can't take too many calls. I don't have enough devices. The idea is, what was my thought? Okay, so we're at the point of the government being seated. So now we're also talking about things that got to be in place before they can reinstate their currency. How important to you was the green zone?
The green zone was significant to me because what it does, first off, the green zone itself has nothing to do with a direct relation with reinstatement. It's more of a relation to the country itself, saying, "Hey, world, we are opening ourselves up to the world. We're becoming international. We're welcoming the international world in."
Mm-hmm. Now, when I was new to the Iraqi Dinar game, people told me that once you saw the green zone open 24 hours, the country was stable.
With Jason.
Okay, this is Jason. Hold on.
Are they calling on the same?
No,
line?
on this phone.
Okay.
Jason?
Hey, Brando.
Hey, Jason. Okay, hold on, Jason. I got Jeff on the line here. Jason? Jeff, hold on. Did you want to say something real quick, Jason?
You were going with. Well, I wanted you to finish your thought. You said once we saw the green zone open, what now?
That the Iraqi. Hold on. The country of Iraq was stable when you saw the green zone open, thus opening it up for international scrutiny, meaning that they were ready to do business. That was transparency for them, meaning that the green zone was fortified, it was bomb-proof, it was this, had barriers there. Once they opened up the green zone, which was a pre-reinstatement activity, that was a prerequisite for when you would know quickly that they're going to reinstate their currency. That's what I was told.
Okay.
Jason, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was listening to what Jeff was saying and what you were saying. I couldn't be more elated than the sun, because both of you are on point. And Jeff, kudos to you for everything that you've been doing. Mr. B and Miss April and the Kangaguru crew have been basically just following along exactly what you've been doing, and we've been actually just uncovering all sorts of things, and it makes me very happy to know that we're in sync with somebody else like yourself, and this is pretty much ready to go, like what you're talking about.
It's validation.
Exactly.
Jeff, going back to you. Jason, I got to hang up so I can go back to the list, okay, brother? But I love you, and I thank you for calling, and thank you for your support and everything you do. Thank you for your timeless effort. Man, I can't say thank you, but I can't do both. I'm going to hang up on you, but I love you, okay? And you're a big guy, and I don't want to get beat up by a badass, okay?
We're all listening, and we love it. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
This is
Bye-bye.
Jeff's page, right?
Yeah, that's Dinar Investor. That's him.
Okay. So you guys, Kangagurus, I'm gonna put Jeff's YouTube out there in the chat now. So look for that.
And understand, it's not about competition anymore, right, Jeff? It's not about being smarter or being better intel. You know what it's about being right now? It's about being right. It's about being factual. It's about presenting the evidence to people that's going to help them move forward. And if people like Jeff can help me, then I'm going to talk to people like Jeff, right? I want to talk to people that can actually help me move forward. Jason, Pempe, Mr. Frazier, Miss BB, my crew, my gang. You know what I mean? It all goes back to the same thing. If we're all wrong and there are 800 numbers and they're all this secret crap that's going on, then you know what? We're still right if the currency reinstates.
That's what we hope for. That's the end result.
Right. Now, so we have to ask this question because it's part of the list. Do you think, Jeff, that post-reconstruction effort, which would be post-reinstatement, that Siemens is going to come in and help fix their whole electrical grid?
I do. Ironically, my former employer before where I'm at now was Siemens, ironically. And yeah, I think they are. In fact, it's going to be about a 50-50 split between GE and Siemens. Each one will, take a 50% of the load. So yeah, that's a strong, significant sign that we're at the end and reaching completion.
What about Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia has generators and stuff like that. Are they not a factor in all that to you?
They do, and right now, obviously, they're trying to get Iraq away from, kind of to separate them from Iran due to sanctions and so forth. So I actually posted a good article this morning, and what it said is that they're going to start the upgrading Iraq's power grid in July. Okay, in the article I posted this morning, it said they're going to actually start trying to get Iraq's upgraded electricity online in the fourth quarter of this year. And so it said during the interim, they're gonna need to temporarily bring electricity over from Saudi Arabia and so forth to fill that void while they're upgrading the grid.
Okay, well, you know I'm a big sound effects guy, right, Jeff? If you watch the show at all, I mean a little bit, even halfway, like even paid any type of attention to this at all, you know I love my sound effects, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you know how to drop a... We talked about something today that was so symbolic to me because of what I knew about the Iraqi dinar that I've got to share it with you right now. What was Mrs. Tamimi talking about today that just made me totally just go crazy in my seat about the budget?
Oh, how they're going to use the financial management law to start auditing the former budgets from 2012 to 2018. Was it that one?
Could you say that one more time?
Okay, so what they're going to do is through the financial management law, which is a way to audit as well as implement transparency. They're going to use the FML to audit. The article said enhance. They're meaning put those former budgets under a spotlight so they can audit the prior budgets ranging from 2012 to 2018. Now, one of my subscribers brought up a very valid point. He said, hey, why isn't the 2019 budget on here? I was like, that is a great question. It's very simply because the 2019 budget has not been implemented and won't be until the rate changes. So the article mentioned that it spoke about the 2020 budget, but the 2019 budget will be in the same category as the 2020. So both of those budgets will actually be post-rate change, as well as their books will all be opened up so you can really see what was inside those budgets, because they're now going to be opened up.
Doing those sound effects.
That was the sum total of your life in this investment. Could you just say that last line one more time, just the last sentence?
All the budgets are getting opened up to be viewed.
And when do you anticipate that happening?
After the rate changes, hopefully somewhere around the end of June, if not going into the third quarter, July.
Now, why is there not being a supplemental budget important why this is happening right now?
You're saying they're not, I'm sorry, I'm not following your
There's
question.
no supplemental budget to the budget of 2019 because of why? And if you can't answer it, I'll answer it.
It would be because of the rate change. It's not needed.
No, I'll answer it. Hang on. Because they never enacted the budget of 2019.
19 or 18?
Oh, gotcha.
19.
Okay.
If they ever would have enacted the budget of 19, then none of that would have been necessary. You see what I'm saying? Because they didn't enact it. That's why they're going through what they're going through right now.
So we're looking at
right now to June 30th. If you want to know numbers, I mean, I don't like to talk dates. I'm not going to ever talk dates or rates on here. You want to talk dates or rates, you got to join Patreon. Jeff and I are going to do a video this weekend about our pie in the sky crazy ideas on Patreon. That's Mr. Brando at Patreon. If you don't, I'm going to keep all of them at level 1 tiers for the rest of the time that I have Patreon. They'll never go above level 1. I'm going to eliminate level 2. If you want to buy shirts, you can buy shirts. But the reason why I'm going to do that, me and Ms. BB talked earlier, we're not ever going to go higher than what we talked about because this investment is so important that we want the average consumer to get into it. I can't talk dates or rates because of obviously what you see what happens. Whenever I go live, they cut me off. Whenever I talking about, I got another person on here, they cut me off. They don't cut me off on Patreon though, do they? You don't cut me off on there.
Mr. Brando, is there a time frame in this for the rate to change that's better than another? Middle of the year, beginning of the year, start of a new accounting period, say from Q1 to Q2, Q3, something like that?
Well, I believe you were the one that educated me on what Dr. Shabibi said a few years ago, and him being the metric, and him saying that he believed that the very best times for revaluing their currency would either be the first of the year or the middle of the year. Am I correct on that one, Mr. Dinar Investor?
100% correct. And what everybody needs to realize is Shabibi was actually put in place by the Bush administration, and the reason why, so he's actually one of the founding fathers of this investment. So when that man said something, you might as well carve it in stone, since he's one of the creators and founding fathers of this whole investment.
I can't hear Jeff.
All these bombs that he's dropping.
I need to hear closely to the bombs.
Jeff, would you repeat the whole thing like Dr. Shabibi one more time, please?
That Bush put him in place, and what else?
Mr. Shabibi was actually put in place by the Bush administration. So he's actually one of the founding fathers of this investment. 7 to 8 years ago, I've been in 10 years, 7 to 8 years ago, he actually came out and publicly said that the best time to actually change the rate is beginning of the year, middle of the year. So because he's one of the founding creator fathers of this investment, when he speaks, it's carved in stone, since he's kind of helped create this investment and draft it and put it together.
Okay, so question for you. Because he's now left Iraq, he's mentored a lot who I hope we can get rid of. But on top of that, now he's in Britain helping them shape and form their fiscal policy about the pound exiting Brexit. How important is that Dr. Shabibi sits on their board?
He is, and I'm sure he is on their board. I guarantee you he's providing some back end guidance. I guarantee you they're consulting with him even probably today.
Yeah, he's on their board. We know that for a fact. So if he helped shape and form an undervalued currency where they said it was almost worth, I don't know what he said at his high time, $16. I'm not even going to go there, but whatever he said, that is proof in the pudding enough that this man can shape and form policy to make it to where, I'm not trying to sell you guys on dreams. I'm just trying to sell you guys on there's facts out there that you can research yourself. If you want to be as diligent as someone like Dinar Investor, AKA Jeff, AKA, I think I'm calling him the Article Oracle. I've nicknamed him the Article Oracle. You feel me? I'm pretty good at it. I think I have a pretty good grasp of this investment. But this guy right here.
Hold on. Let me answer.
Wow.
Ed, and several people keep asking, is the green zone open? Yes, it's open. It's been open since Tuesday. If you go to Mr. Brando's Facebook group, he's posted pictures from the green zone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the green zone's open. I just want to say that because I've seen about 3 or 4 questions. Is the green zone open? It's open. It's been open since Tuesday, right?
Okay. So, Jeff, can I ask you this question without giving away too much? I don't want to know the number. I just want your personal opinion. Okay, I'll give you mine first. I'm not setting up for failure. I really like this month, between now and the end of the month, for us to see major movement in the valuation of our currency investment. Okay? Jeff, do you feel the same way? And if you don't feel it's this month, when do you feel it would be?
I strongly feel it's this month, and I'm going to share something here. I've actually shared some faith layers on my side. I'm going to keep them out of this forum, but let me go a different direction here. And I'm not giving this as a date. I think it's a key component. We need to look back at what Kuwait did, because if anyone who studies history is notorious for repeating itself.
Mm-hmm.
Look back at when Kuwait did theirs. Kuwait did theirs in Q1. We're in Q2. I get that. So remove the quarters from this thought process here. If you go back and look at when Kuwait did theirs, they did it on March 24th, which was a Sunday of 1991. That was the 4th weekend of the last month of the quarter. That's kind of where my radar is on the same time frame, near that 4th weekend of the last month of Q2. I'm looking at how they did Kuwait, and And I think Iraq's going to kind of fall in a similar pattern, you know, because that's what makes sense for the Middle Eastern region. They did Kuwait and
I love hearing me talk. Okay, so we're going to talk dates, rates, pie in the sky ideas on Patreon. We're not going to talk about that now. I don't want to hold my friend up too much. If he
Can I ask Jeff a question?
before he goes, yeah.
Jeff,
I'm not trying to keep him on the line all night.
Jeff, are you invested?
I got time. You guys are fine.
Okay, Jeff, are you invested in the dong?
I am. Yes, I have a little bit.
Okay, all right.
How much do you like the dong?
You know, I think it's, if you looked at a lot of the articles have significantly followed Iraq's patterns as far as news goes. So I think that, in fact, let me let you in on a secret. One of the things I'm going to do is, the day I find out that the dinar has reinstated, one of the first things I'm going to do is go to xe.com and see if the dinar reinstated, or the Vietnam dong reinstated.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't, I'm gonna buy up a fair amount of it. That's one of the things I'm gonna look for.
That is Mr. Frazier all the way.
Hold on. We can't talk about Mr. Frazier. He's like Unusual Suspects.
But
Kaiser Sose.
I'm sorry. I know, but that's Mr. Frazier's philosophy.
Mine too, I told you.
But I heard it first from him.
I'm putting 80 on the dash.
That was Mr. I haven't documented that. I heard it from him first.
Okay. Jeff, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to answer a few questions before I go. But we're going to do a Patreon here coming up this week. So if anybody wants to join Mr. Brando's Patreon, don't join Pyramid 2. Join Pyramid 1 if you want to hear about what we talk about dates and rates. If you want to subscribe to Mr. Brando, or you want to subscribe to Dinar Investor, subscribe right now. Grow my man's channel. I mean, a lot of these guys out here that are YouTube guys hate on a guy that don't have as many subs. I'm telling you guys right now, I like this guy. He's super smart. He's way into the investment. He's accessible.
I posted the link in the chat.
I like my boy Jeff. I like him. I mean, this guy is on the money.
I want to ask Jeff one more question.
Go ahead and ask him. He's right here.
Jeff, what do you think the dongos kind of come in at?
The dong.
Hold on.
I just wanted to.
No. You want to talk about the dong? You know where you got to talk about that. You're not talking about it on here. We're not talking dong. I'm not talking Malaysia. I'm not talking. You want to go? Subscribe to Patreon. You can find out what Jeff thinks about the dong. I'm sorry. I'm not getting hated on. Two channels.
It's not.
No. He likes it. That's good enough. We're done.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
You're welcome. Mr. Brando, one thing that very few people do touch on.
Yeah?
What is the dinar pegged to today for value?
The dollar.
Bingo. What will it be pegged to when the rate increases?
It'll be free floating, hopefully, based upon supply and demand and velocity, I hope.
Well, actually, I've actually found about 3 articles that have said it's going to follow suit as to what the Kuwait's currency has done. Right now, if you were to Google what is Iraq's currency pegged to, it's pegged to a multi-assortment basket, basically the SDR.
Right.
And that's how it's got. So I've actually found at least 3 articles through my time in this that have said that the dinar will unpeg from the U.S. dollar and repeg to an SDR basket. So
I saw that.
Yeah,
that's how it'll achieve that 3 plus, higher rate.
Hold on. Don't talk those numbers, bro.
Your boy.
We don't talk numbers.
Your boy Seamus.
You know I love you, Jeff. Don't talk numbers.
Your boy Seamus.
I got you.
For Jeff.
Hold on, my boy. This is my friend from Oregon. Has a question from you. Shout out to Oregon.
So
shout out Duck Gang.
So Seamus wants to know how much Jeff has invested in dinar.
Jeff, what you got in dinar?
Money wise?
Over under 10 million.
Well over.
There you go, Seamus. Okay.
I'm gonna let you go, bro. We're gonna talk later on. I got one more show to do with you this week. I love you to death. I'll take a few more questions. If anybody wants to look him up, look under Dinar Investor.
I've already posted the link in the
Hell
chat.
of a dinar guy. Oh my God. The oracle of the article. I love this guy. Man, will you please come back?
Yeah, I got you. Hey, anytime you want, you got my number. Anytime you want me to back, just hit me up. Shoot me a text or something.
Do you have Twitter or anything?
No, I'm not a big social media guy.
Well, can we just say on the Kangaguru crew, would you please just get a Twitter? Just a Twitter.
I'll work. I'm actually into technology. I mean, if you notice, I helped your wife solve your fuse challenge.
I solved it. No,
Solve what?
I solved it.
Solve what? He can't solve nothing.
Okay, last but not least, I want to say this to you guys. If you're part of Mr. Brando's crew, Jeff is going to be a part of an initiative to do crypto mining, and he's going to do it in his home state of Arizona, if not abroad. They've already got the land in mind. They know how they're going to do it. If you're very interested in doing crypto mining, not crypto buying, but crypto mining, he's going to give me some specific instructions for the Wealth Club. I'll release them. First release to them, second release to everybody else. That if you want to do it and be involved in crypto mining, if you don't want to go through the club, go straight to Jeff. You can go to Dinar Investor. But if you want to be involved in it with us on a larger scale, then you want to join the club, gang. You know how we do it every day. Now, I love this guy. I'm going to hang up with you. I'm going to answer 2 or 3 questions, and I'm going to rock steady, bro. Hey, can I just say this, man? I don't do collabs. I don't do them, do I?
Thank you, Jeff. Jeff, I just want to say we appreciate your honesty and your information.
And your integrity and being a great source, bro. Thank you so much.
Because the Kangagurus will cross-examine you.
Oh!
They will cross-examine you backwards and forwards.
My gang is thorough.
I'm sorry.
Thanks for keeping it real in Dinar Land, guys. It makes a huge difference to people, who need the help.
And you too, bro. You are doing it on a big level and in a big way. And I hope that you feel like, you're a part of the crew, because I love you and I love your thinking. And you want to come back, give it an insight. You call me, you tell me, we'll do this again hastily, okay? Expeditiously.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, Jeff.
Thanks for having me. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take
care. All right, you too. Bye.
You too now. Okay, man. Have a good one. Bye. All right, y'all. I got to go through a couple things before I get off the line. Of course, everybody knows about the tragedy that happened in our family this week with our father. He passed. We're going to be doing some things this week. So on Wednesday, there will be no show.
So we'll have a show Monday and Friday.
Yeah. If you're on Patreon, you'll see scheduled content to come out that we're pre-filming. But this week on Wednesday, there will be no Mr. Brando show. So please don't look for it. It's not going to happen. We're going to honor my father-in-law, and we're going to do what's right by him. And we're going to make sure that he has the send-off that he deserves. We'll be in Vegas. Shout out again to Miss BB. Shout out again to 6 months. Shout out again to Jeff. Shout out again to What's Up. I love you guys.
Check out the Patreon. I posted the link down below.
You want to talk finance? You want to talk about wealth management? You want to talk about wealth building? Forget what a hater say. Hater ain't made you no money ever, never. But come check us out, man. We doing big things. We having a lot of fun. We made some money. I'm minding my business still. I made 100 coins. I hope you are too.
Thanks, Crypto Mogul.
Man.
Thanks, Chris Bell. Thank you all. I appreciate your well wishes. Thank you. I appreciate your condolences. Thank you.
Shout out to my gang. Shout out to everybody that's made this movie possible. Shout out to you guys graciously accepting Crypto Investor in here today. I want to say goodnight. I don't want to.
Dinar Investor, not Crypto. That was Jeff, right?
Yeah. I said Crypto.
You said Crypto, yeah.
Dinar Investor, my dude, Jeff. Check out his channel. He's nothing but articles. I'm calling him the Oracle of the article, if I haven't told you again. Dude's fire. I love this guy. Man, you guys have a great weekend.
Wait, how do I say this person's name? They want to shout out. Perkins, S. Perkins. I can't say that.
Hold on. Shalom Perkins. You're shouted out. I 100. Peace.
Good night, y'all.
Hey, if you can't love who you with, then love someone you're next to.
And stinky.